Hey everybody, Mature Simmer here. So, welcome back to Walker Air Transport, and we're here. Whoops, wrong thing. But just quickly getting our plane ready. I've got about 10 minutes before I have a break, so we're gonna have a really quick and abrupt process here. Not that we don't normally try to get off the ground quickly, but definitely gonna try to move things along. Because yeah, it's a 4-hour flight. We've got a long way back here, so we're gonna go ahead here. Gonna quickly get our APU moving as well, so that we can start that up and not have any issues. And we're going to go ahead and go into our EFB. Okay, it's saving our settings this time, which is great because it didn't used to do that. So, but in any event, I just want to make sure flight tracking does think we're boarding. I've been really bad with that the last two flights. So we're going to import the flight from SimBrief. We're going from Mexico City, where we just had the race, Shane Van Gisbergen. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but that was the winner of this first ever course, or first ever race from NASCAR in Mexico. And we are now going back to Pocono in Pennsylvania. So about 1,700 miles, but I think we have a little bit longer as we fly. Just need to change the arrival. Everything else is the same. And we're just going to go to ILS here. We want the final. And then what I probably want to do is take off LVZ. So let's see if I can remove that waypoint. And then hopefully it'll just take me there. Correct. Okay. I don't know for how long, but it's long, so that's okay. But that should give us what we need, and then we're going to export, and we're going to load it into our avionics. It might take a bit, and in theory, that should do it. We did see a line show up on our screen, so that hopefully is accurate. Let me make sure Say Intentions thinks we're here. It does. They've just got center here. I don't know why it's giving me, well, hopefully it'll be able to work. So it's not even like it's giving me some kind of different airport, but we are kind of on the edge of the airport, so maybe it, you know, did something unique. But we'll get our emergency lights armed, get our anti-collision. Obviously the weather's not great, but yeah, heading up to Pennsylvania, and this up until we start going back to the West Coast or whatever, this is our last long flight. So again, I'm trying to get things in and get them in quickly. But let's see, center 128.5. So let me dial that in and see if I can get clearance and just make sure we have everything set. Mexico Center, Walker 4021 requesting IFR to Wilkes-Barre Scranton International.
Give me 1 second for that clearance.
Okay, we will do that. All right. So yeah, at this point, I'm gonna go ahead though, and we're gonna start getting everything.
Walker 4021, information is current. Cleared to Wilkes-Barre via the IKLA2 Alpha departure, then as filed. Departure runway 5 right. Initial climb to 10,000. Departure on 128.8 squawk 2452.
That is more than I expected. All right, 10,000. Cleared to Wilkes-Barre via the IKLA-2A departure, then as filed. Departure runway 5 right. Initial climb to 10,000. Departure on 128.5, squawk 2452, Walker 4021. Alright, so we'll get this in. But yeah, the last two times I have had to restart the flight because I forgot my tracking. Alright, so I do need to get my fuel updated, so let me look at my sim brief plan here. So we need 11,000, about 12,000 at a minimum. So we're going to go here. Let's see. I want to go to aircraft, flight performance, mass and gravity, fuel, change it to pounds. So yeah, that would be nowhere near enough. We'll probably be okay with that. So we're going to load the aircraft. So there we go, 13,920. We in theory need 11,732. So hopefully that's all good. But now we can go ahead and get this started. We'll get this one closed. But then as those spin up, we'll be in pretty good shape here. And basically 5 right is right up there, so I did get the aircraft positioned as close as I could to get myself quickly off the ground here. And hopefully we will be doing that shortly, because now I am down to 5 minutes, so this is not good. I don't know that I'm going to be able to get off that fast, but we are going to do our damnedest, I'll tell you that. Okay. Mexico Center, Walker 4021, ready to taxi.
Walker 4021, contact ground for taxi instructions.
There is no ground. I don't understand. I don't have a ground. What is the ground frequency? Walker 4021.
ABF 04, Mexico Control, good morning. Please state your request or intentions. Walker 4021, contact ground on 121.9 for taxi instructions.
Ground Walker 4021, request taxi. It's really ready for taxi, but... Alright, and we are at 3032, because again, we're way up in the air. Yeah, see, it says nobody listening, so this whole thing, I might have my entire thing all messed up, but alright, well, we're going to do what we need to do. So we are now going to get our flaps down. We're going to get this done. I kind of know where I need to go, so we're just going to get moving, because again, I need to get airborne. And at this point, what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to be quiet for a bit, and I'm going to have to mute myself, and then you'll be able to watch the takeoff and climb out. But beyond that, okay, what is happening? There we go. I'm like, are we going to move, or are we not going to move? But yeah, I think I need to go up that way, and then that will get me to the runway. And let's see. I guess I'll worry about my climb out and all that later. But this should get me here. We're going to get ourselves configured. Yep, there's 5 right. And so this should be where I need to be. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and mute at this point, and then we'll go from there. Sandra, please go ahead and take over comms.
All right, I'll take over the comms from here.
Departure Walker 4021 with you.
Walker 4021, Mexico control radar contact, climb via the SID.
Climb via the SID, Walker 4021.
Walker 4021, contact Mexico radar on 119.25.
Contacting Mexico radar on 119.25, Walker 4021. Mexico radar, Walker 4021, morning, climbing past 10,000, aiming for flight level 290.
Walker 4021, Mexico radar identified. Good morning, QNH 1024.
Delta 1562, expedite descent to flight level 240, traffic ahead.
Expedite descent to flight level 240, Delta 1562.
Descend and maintain 6,000, altimeter 29.71, Southwest 2329.
Washington Center, American 2450, flight level 310.
American 2450, Washington Center, good afternoon. Walker 4021, Washington Center, whenever you'd like, descend and maintain flight level 250.
Descending and maintaining flight level 250, Walker 4021.
Walker 4021, descend and maintain 7,000.
Descend and maintain 7,000, Walker 4021.
Walker 4021, contact New York Center on 133.475.
Switching to New York Center on 133.475, Walker 4021. New York Center, Walker 4021, afternoon, maintaining flight level 350.
Walker 4021, New York Center, good afternoon.
JetBlue 945, contact approach on 125.35, good day.
Contacting approach 125.35, good day, JetBlue 945.
Hawaiian 645, climb and maintain flight level 380. Climbing to flight level 380, Hawaiian 645.
Delta 1828, New York Center, good afternoon.
Cleared for the pad for arrival, and we are cleared down at 17,000, Delta 1828.
Delta 1828, descend and maintain 9,000.
Lufthansa 421, heavy climb and maintain flight level 370. Climbing to flight level 370, Lufthansa 421, heavy.
Beach 3 Kilo Lima, altimeter 29 or 9 or 7.
Hey, can I get a radio check on top of that, 3 Kilo Lima? Stewart Center request, 3 Kilo Lima.
Walker 4021, New York Center. Contact Wilkes-Barre. Approach on 120.9 or 5.
Switching to Wilkes-Barre approach on 120.905, Walker 4021. Wilkes-Barre approach, Walker 4021. Afternoon. Descending through 16,000 feet to 7,000.
Walker 4021, Wilkes-Barre approach. Good afternoon, Wilkes-Barre, altimeter 30.12. Expect the ILS runway 22 approach into Wilkes-Barre.
Expecting the ILS runway 22 approach, Walker 4021. Descend and maintain 4100. Left heading 030 for vectors to the ILS runway 22 approach, Walker 4021.
Would like to request for runway 04, Walker 4021. So I apologize. I had my microphone muted all this time,
Walker
so
4021,
we've been
runway
watching
4 is not
flights,
available.
but with no
Available
audio.
runways are 22 and 28. Please advise your preference.
Let's see. Let's look. Wonder why it won't give us that.
UPS 901, heavy contact center on 133.5, good day.
Right,
Contacting
so
center on
22 is
133.5, good day,
fine.
UPS 901 heavy.
Alright, so I'm going to have to redo my procedures, which stinks, but I want ILS 02. Let's see. So we're going to change this to 22. And then we're going to select probably Cosby. I guess makes sense. Alright, so we're going to do Cosby. And we're going to load and activate. Okay. So that should then get us somewhere else. So Cosby. Alright. Alright, so that should hopefully work here. So let's see what we got. Because, yeah, now we want to go direct Cosby. We're on VNav. Alright. But yeah, now we've got 14 miles to that, because we're basically, well, we're in the soup now. Like we're passing the airport, but yeah, we can't see anything. But the problem is, it's then probably going to be a little too high. Because yeah, I'm hoping this kind of puts us in the hold. And then lets us loop around, because that
Walker
would be
4021,
helpful.
turn left, heading 025.
Turn Turning left, heading 025. Walker 4021.
I'm not sure where it's sending us, but okay. Alright, we're gonna do the heading. We'll change that. But I think it's bringing us around a certain way. But we'll be at 025. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and, whoops, I want to be fine there, but I want to go to 4,000. So actually, let me get that heading back to 25, turn a little bit. Alright, 6,000, but we're not, again, catching the glide slope, but that may be the 04 glide slope.
Lima cleared for the visual on 8 left, maintain 9 knots.
Because
Cleared
I
visual,
think
8
we'd
left,
be,
9 knots, 714 Lima.
I think we'd be pretty close, and I think
Skyhawk
at this
710,
point we've got
transition approved through Wilkes-Barre Delta.
a
Maintain
different
VFR
top
at
of
4500.
departure. No,
Report when leaving the airspace.
at this point it's just
Okay, we'll maintain VFR at 4,500. Skyhawk 470.
alright, but again, we don't get to see anything after 2000 until 2000, so. But yeah, we are not near the airport yet. We have enough fuel. We have 4,600, and this is exactly why we put a good amount extra. Although the 11,000, 12,000 might have still been fine, but I'd rather have way more than I need. Fly a little heavy, burn a little more fuel, but yeah, we'll just let them vector us in. Because yeah, we're basically, the airport is to our east at this point. And so yes, it says we're 9 miles away, and we are, but we have to basically cross to the other side and be, a good ways away. I mean, right now we're not really parallel to the runway, because obviously that would be 04, which is the runway we had wanted to land on, but it basically had us cross over that path. And so if it was a left pattern around the airport, we'd basically be heading opposite the downwind leg at this point, is the way we're going. But I'm trying to see, where did it want us? 4,100. So actually I probably should go up a bit. So we'll climb up a tiny bit, get ourselves where they really want us. So there we go. Easy enough. Now north-south wise, the airport is behind us. We are adding distance slowly by basically 1/100th of a mile every couple seconds, so. Because yeah, basically what we were looking at was that loop there, but we're here, so it's, and there's the airport. Not much to see though, just a lot of gray. Hence the need to be IFR cleared, but you can see now our glide path is coming up because now we're on the other side of the airport. So, nothing...
Air Canada 235, hold at waypoint Briggs. Expect further clearance in 10 minutes.
Holding at Briggs, waiting for further clearance, Air Canada 235.
Alright. So, we're getting close. Now we're at Wexon, then we'll have Jullett, and then Cosby are the points that we're looking at. So Wexon, Jullett, Cosby. So I assume at some point it's going to have us start turning to intercept.
Walker 4021, turn right heading 050.
There we go.
Turning right, heading 050, Walker 4021.
So that will start us heading toward Cosby a bit, but again, it's not a huge turn. But basically, at this point, we're going a little more inward than parallel. So obviously, again, 040 would have been the heading to do that, to just go parallel to the runway. But yeah, at this point, we're real close to Cosby. Well, it looks closer on the Navigraph map. Obviously, it's little ways, so what it may do is bring me north of Cosby, or past Cosby, because we're really heading kind of northeast. Obviously, it's 050. A little more east than north. Again, the glide slope is way up there.
Walker 4021, turn right, heading 085.
Alright, so now we're probably going to start heading in for intercepts a little bit. I don't know why as you get close it like does that.
Turning right, heading 085,
So
Walker
not quite due
4021.
east, but close. And 16 miles, we're still technically going further away. So it's definitely going to bring us in from a little ways out. But now I'm almost thinking it's just going to run us up and, you know, maybe kind of having us join in
Walker
there.
4021, proceed direct Julut. Descend and maintain 3100 until established on the localizer, cleared for the ILS runway 22 approach.
Proceed direct Julut. Descend and maintain 3100 until established on the localizer. Cleared for the ILS runway 22 approach. Walker 4021.
There is no Julut, so we're going to go... well, maybe that's it. Is it? Oh yeah, okay. I don't know why it didn't look like it, but... Okay, so we're proceeding direct Julut. We're going to go down 3100. Oh, I forgot to turn on my landing lights. Again, doing poorly. Hey, we can see the ground. But again, that's because the scattereds were at about 2,000, and then everything else.
Waco 432 Delta Echo, cleared for the visual runway 9er report, tree mile final. Cleared visual runway 9er report at tree 432 Delta Echo.
Alright, what do we got going on?
Wilkes-Barre approach, United 1627 is going around for a missed approach.
There we go.
Climb and maintain 3,000 feet. Expect ILS runway 22 vectors, United 1627.
Like, what have we got with terrain? I don't understand.
Contact Wilkes-Barre Tower on 120.1.
Alright, we're going to put our flaps out. Give ourselves some lift. Yeah, I'm not quite sure, and maybe it was, yeah, kind of because at this level it's not great, but we'll put approach on. So we got the localizer and the glide slope. So we're obviously going to try to get on there. But yeah, we're only at 1,300 feet. Pretty good turn. Should be coming in hopefully that way, I think. Maybe not. Although no, it'll keep going. Alright, still not locked in. Because yeah, we're definitely kind of coming in along the ridge line is really where we'd kind of expect to be. I wonder if it's just because we're close, but and again, we're a little ways out, so alright, we're gonna put the second set of flaps down. That'll slow us down a little more. Give us a little more time to maneuver if we have to. But yeah, I would think Kavp is kind of where we would get the localizer maybe working. There we go. We're starting to get some stuff here. Radio altimeter and all that. So hopefully we'll lock in somewhere, but it's now, you know, we at least have the glide slope showing up, which is going to be one of the biggest things. Goodness gracious. I see, because we are about 1,000 feet. Yeah, we're not going down, so I don't understand that panic, but okay. So yeah, Kavp, that's 2 nautical miles out, I think is about where we would normally connect. So hopefully the localizer will lock in and we won't have to hand fly this entirely, because that's not what we'd like to do in an IFR situation. But I don't know that we're going to have a lot of choices if we don't get something changing soon. I hate the way this starts to look, though.
Janet 294, cleared for residential chemtrail ops at or above flight level tree 50. Chemtrail ops approved. Janet 294, have a great day.
Alright, well now we're past Kavp, so I am surprised that we haven't locked into the local. I mean, we are going direct Duluth, but you would think we would be close enough to the localizer, but you know, we might have to kind of cross the localizer. The glide slope isn't coming
Walker
down yet.
40.1, contact Wilkes-Barre Tower on 120.1.
Right, so now this is starting to
Switching
move
to
down.
Wilkes-Barre Tower on 120.1, Walker 4021.
Put the put our gear down. That'll require a bit more thrust to maintain everything.
Wilkes-Barre Tower, Walker 4021. Afternoon. We're established on the ILS approach for runway 22.
Are we? We
Walker
haven't locked into the localizer yet.
050 at 3. Runway 22 cleared to land.
Runway
She's
22.
a bit of a
Cleared
liar.
to land. Walker 4021.
Alright, now we finally are established. So there we go, and then I assume we'll kind of need to be at where it says top of descent, and then it's going to take us down. So I feel a little bit better now that at least we have locked in, but man. Alright, here we go. Final descent, coming up on 2,000 feet above ground level. Gonna go full flaps at this point. So that'll get us down to 140. Again, trying to get below the cloud layer is what it's working on. Obviously also maintaining the glide slope, but It's going a little bit quick. That's why we want to get the flaps out and configured so that it can settle in to the approach speed. All right, 1600. Again, scattered was at about 13, I think, so we've still got to get down a few hundred more, but it may have gotten worse. Because I'm not seeing a whole lot here. We're about 4 nautical miles out. And again, we are cleared for IFR, so we don't have to have visual. Obviously, it helps to have visual, but it's not required. Alright, we're going to turn auto throttle off here. Oops. I guess without cutting the autopilot, it doesn't really work. Alright, now I'm getting a little worried because I should be able to see something. I don't see any lights. We're at 500 feet. We shouldn't be getting any terrain warning, in all honesty. There we go.
Mooney 824
Finally.
Foxtrot Delta, enter right base runway 22.
Right base runway 22 for Mooney 824 Foxtrot Delta.
Roger, switching departure, Fury 11 Heavy.
Alright, so we're gonna get ourselves here. And get ourselves... Come on. Touchdown. There. It's a bit heavy. Come on, what are we doing? We're sliding, doing weird things here. Man, that was awful. I think I landed okay. Let's see what it captured. Oh, it's at 97. So I keep getting lucky. So I'm thinking, let's see, which way?
Walker 4021, welcome to Wilkes-Barre. Contact ground on 121.9er.
Yeah, I'm assuming we need to go this way.
Switching to ground on 121.9, Walker 4021.
My VIPs are not liking me very much. I am making things way too entertaining.
Wilkes-Barre ground, Walker 4021. Afternoon. We're clear of runway 22 and ready to taxi to the gate.
Walker 4021, Wilkes-Barre ground, taxi to 13 via Bravo 2, Bravo, Bravo 4. Good day.
Runway 13 via Bravo 2. Bravo, Bravo 4, Walker 4021.
Alright, good amount of planes here on the ground. Of course, I'm sure it'll park us right on another one, because that's what they tend to do. But, yeah, it's just the auto throttle doesn't turn off too nicely, and so it does get to be a bit of a problem. But we'll back off the throttle here, probably more so. So we're already going 30. I'm assuming we're going to go all the way by the, you know, whatever, the terminal, what constitutes a terminal here. This isn't a huge airport, but I'm sure we're, you know, heading over to the hangars over there. Okay, turn in there, Bravo, and then Bravo 4. Looks Looks like it's raining a bit. You can see the little splashes on the tarmac. I did not realize that. But always fun, always fun. And again, sorry for the just audio stupidity. I realized when I was trying to get the runway change that it wasn't hearing me, and I'm like, oh, it's not hearing me because I have the mic muted. Oh, I'm like, is it sending me into the fuel pump? Because sometimes it will do that. But I guess it's taken me in here.
King Air 145 Kilo Alpha, cross runway 21, contact ground on 121.9.
Crossing runway 21, contacting ground on 121.9, King Air 145 Kilo Alpha.
I'll grab that clearance. Give me just a minute.
Alright, so we're here.
Charlotte, radar vector ZTX, then is filed, climb maintain 4000, expecting flight level 380, 10 minutes after departure. Departure on 120.95, squawking 3.
So we'll cut off ATC, we don't need that anymore. Just making sure everything looks okay over there. I think it does. Again, when you take that default view, it kind of shows you what you don't need. Alright, PyRep is filed. At this point, if I refresh, yep, leg 18 is now complete. So I've got some big green lines going up and down to Mexico, or down and up, I suppose. And like I said, we've got to fly to Atlanta, to Chicago, and then we end up going out to Sonoma, and then come back a good ways. And I think that ultimately ends up being our long leg. I'm going to see 2177. I think that will be it. Yeah, we got 1,000, 1,600, 1,440. Yep. So if you're looking and you enjoy, you know, longer flights, although not that I'm really showing anything significantly different, but yeah, our long flight will be leg 22. This was leg 18, so basically 4 weeks from now. We're going to have a 2100 flight back, but we're going to have something similar here from Midway to Sonoma in leg 21. So we've got two short legs, or two shorter legs, I should say. They're still over 500 nautical miles. Sorry, I'm always talking, I'm looking at another screen and not realizing you're getting kind of a terrible view of nothing. But yeah, that's the situation we've got, and trying to get these in so that I can get them to you in time. But yeah, a little less polish than I would like normally. So get all the lights turned off, everything else off. Shut the airplane fully down. Probably not quite the way I should have done it, but that's okay. But we're on the ground, everybody's off, and you know, they will enjoy the race here in Pocono, and next week we'll be off, heading back south where it's a little bit warmer, down to Atlanta. So as always, if you've enjoyed this but haven't dropped a like or not subscribed, please consider those things, and I will see you next time.